I would rather die than be part or party to any corrupt machinery. I would rather die.
Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng has led South Africa's courts for half a decade. Speaking during the O.R. Tambo Memorial Lecture on Thursday, he urged South Africans to speak up before the country fell into economic and political crisis. Facing South Africa's current economic uncertainty, Mogoeng said, O.R. Tambo would urge restraint.
Anything that has the potential to wreck our economy, to result in the economy of South Africa being downgraded to junk status, should be avoided as much as you would avoid a mamba when you see it.
Given that we have now the situation with the Finance Minister in the courts, are South Africans right to be concerned about the implications of those particular decisions on the market and indeed on people's perceptions on the issue of rule of law in this country and the integrity and the independence of the NPA?
I think South Africans ought to draw comfort or solace from the reality that the matter is before the courts, and the courts of this country have been known to be true. The judiciary as an arm of the state and as an institution has demonstrated, and I say with all sense of humility, beyond a reasonable doubt, that it does not take sides, it doesn't matter who you are, the outcome will only be as it is supposed to be. I haven't seen that the markets are necessarily overly worried because they depend on the strength of the critical institutions like the judiciary, and the judiciary has demonstrated to be very strong, and justice will prevail, whatever it may be.
In his address, Mogoeng also spoke about the country's need for strong and ethical leaders.
Let us be wary of any in our midst who has fallen in love with position and power. So please stop this insatiable hunger for money and position. It will drive you to kill. And we won't hesitate to lock you up if you are brought before us.
Do you know what a subtweet is?
Subtweet?
A subtweet is when you are putting a message out there to someone, but you're not using their name. So what does he make of the perception that he was subtweeting President Jacob Zuma in his speech on leadership?
On the contrary, I respect everybody. I speak directly to everybody, and the president is no exception. I respect the president. I care about the president. And when I have the opportunity to speak to him, I speak to him very, very directly. So there is no need for me to be attacking him indirectly. I know he's bright enough to see through any shenanigan of that nature. And it would be very dishonest of me, instead of confronting him when I have an issue to raise with him, whatever it may be, not to do so. I don't subtweet.
Ultimately, Mogoeng says this speech is to urge South Africans to look outside of their own interests and to show true leadership by speaking out against anything that could destroy what struggle heroes like O.R. Tambo gave up their lives for. Karen Moore, Johannesburg.